Hey, welcome to another innovational production. Today I'm going to be doing a quick showcase and sound test of the M-Audio M-Track Solo. Now this is a fairly new USB audio interface from M-Audio. Now this is probably the cheapest of the cheap USB audio interfaces you can find, with the exception of the Behringer UM2, which also has the one XLR input and the one line input. Now the two things you should know about this interface is, number one, it can only record up to 48 kilohertz. But secondly, it's got the same crystal mic preamps you can find in the more expensive M-Audio Air series, which potentially could make this quite a compelling buy. So let's take a closer look at this audio interface. Now at the top here you've got three knobs. The first two are for input 1 and input 2, and these are the gain controls. You can see here a small LED light which indicates whether there's a signal coming in, and also it goes red if the gain is too high. Now what this doesn't have is what you'll find on most more expensive interfaces, is a VU meter, which tells you the level of gain. Over here you've got the output volume control, which controls the output for both the RCA outputs and also for the headphone outputs. Now in more expensive interfaces you'll have an independent volume control for the headphones, which could come in handy. Now note that these are RCA unbalanced outputs as opposed to balanced TRS outputs. At the front here you've got the XLR or line input, and over here you've got a secondary input, which is line input or instrument input, and you've got a switch to switch between the both. You've got a phantom power switch here, and as I mentioned earlier you've got a headphone output here, and this is a 1/8 inch jack and not a 1/4 inch, which you'll find on most interfaces. Now over here is a switch where you can switch between direct input monitoring or USB input monitoring. And the only other thing is that it's got a USB-B input connector here. Now the unit itself feels like it's a bit more bulky than it needs to be. It's just a plastic box, so it feels quite not premium. This is a sound test comparison between the M-Audio Air 1926 interface and the M-Audio M-Track Solo interface, using the Marantz MPM1000 condenser microphone. This is a sound test comparison between the M-Audio Air 1926 interface and the M-Audio M-Track Solo, using the Marantz MPM1000 condenser microphone. So the latency for the M-Audio Air 1926, which is a more premium device compared to the Solo, at 44,000 Hz at 256 samples is 17.1 milliseconds overall latency. So that's input and output together. So at the same sample rate and buffer size, the M-Track Solo is actually a little bit lower than the M-Audio Air 1926. But you'll find with the Air 192 that the more you increase the sample rate, the lower the latency goes. So let's adjust the buffer size to, let's say, 512, and you'll see the latency increase to 28.2, which is quite a bit. But I think keeping the buffer size at 256 is quite functional for most applications, and that's quite a decent overall latency From a software perspective, the M-Track Solo includes 2 digital audio workstations or DAW, including Pro Tools First M Audio Edition and also MPC Beats. It also includes 20 effect plugins from Avid and a virtual instrument Expand 2 with multiple sounds. And it also includes a guitar amp plugin called 11 Lite, which includes a choice of modern vintage amps, cabs, and sounds. In terms of driver updates for the M-Track Solo, the latest driver is actually from February of this year, which is quite recent, while given that it's quite a recent USB audio interface. Now in comparison to the M-Audio Air series, their last driver update was from, I think, end of 2019, which is quite a while back and quite a long time without updates. So this is definitely a plus that it's got recent driver updates. In terms of operating system, you can use this interface with Windows, Mac, or even Linux. So in conclusion, if you're looking for something really cheap, or if you're just starting out making music, or if you're needing a secondary USB audio interface for travel or for just throwing around, this could be a compelling buy. Thanks for watching.